So with the latest Spider-Man trailer, I do like the way it's weirdly evolving over time. First, it seems like it's a prequel to Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, and then now it's a full-blown sequel that pays heavy reverence to the Iron Man, as it should. Iron Man played a pivotal role in developing Spider-Man. The major theme we'll get out of this movie, I think, is going to be Spider-Man stepping up as the next Iron Man, or at least the next head of the MCU, because with Tony Stark gone, you need someone that everyone already loves, someone that's not divisive. But it's going to be hard because there's no real replacement for Robert Downey Jr. But we got lots in this trailer: a multiverse, Spider-Man wearing Tony's glasses, Mysterio, and heavy undertones of what everyone lost. And I guess the world is recovering quite well. It's not post-apocalyptic, losing half their population. I guess that's just fine. We get to see more of what this movie is going to be about. It seems Mr. Becht, or Mysterio, was pushed through a hole that was torn in their dimension into the MCU as we know it. And the movie very well could just revolve around getting Mysterio back. It's clearly not, though, because all the shots we see in this trailer, the water, the rock monsters, they all look like they're taking place in the beginning of the movie. So just like they did with Endgame, the actual movie could be dramatically different than what they're trying to make it seem like. Most of the stuff is probably the first 30 minutes of the film. Honestly, I think most of Spider-Man Far From Home will actually take place in Mysterio's dimension, the other multiverse. Since they introduced the concept and put it in the trailer, they're probably going to explore it. It's not just a tiny one-off thing, setting up future movies. They're actually going to explore the multiverse here and show you what it's all about. And Mysterio's the one introducing it. This shot right here is the interior of what could be the Quinjet, of course, or something similar, but it is some kind of vehicle, maybe a spaceship, heading to the tear in the dimension. Assuming, of course, the tear is in space and not just on Earth somewhere. I imagine the tear could be the very place Thanos was snapping his fingers, but unlikely they're going to keep revisiting Wakanda. It's also kind of coincidental that Peter just goes on a field trip, and then it just so happens that Mysterio is in that same location fighting bad guys. Of course, there's probably an explanation in the movie. So I think it takes place in a different universe because Fury says, "And you're coming with us." So it's not like they need Spider-Man's help to find MacGuffins to get Mysterio back to his universe, but there's some kind of problem in Mysterio's dimension where Spider-Man and Fury will travel to assist him. After all, where are they going to be going? Clearly the set piece was going to be Venice or France, wherever they are. But after accepting the mission, Nick Fury probably gives Spider-Man his black stealth suit, or maybe it's something left over from Tony Stark. After all, he probably made Spider-Man a lot of suits. And talking about the suits, the nanotech suit from Infinity War and Endgame seems to be left back in New York, as it's not in any of the future shots where he travels on his field trip. So we probably won't get a lot of scenes with that. In the same scene with Beck talking with Peter, we get some more mention of someone having to be the next Iron Man. Someone always has to be the leader of the Avengers. At this point, I think the Avengers are broken up. You don't have Captain America anymore. It's a very, very different landscape. And I think the person to bring everyone back together would be Spider-Man. Of course, he's going to have his own team of Avengers. I don't think we're going to go with the classics anymore, although we might get some cameos. But it's going to be interesting because we don't have a clear villain besides Mysterio. He's clearly going to be the villain of this movie. And Marvel's villains have been getting better after Thanos was introduced, so I hope we don't get a run-of-the-mill bad guy plot. But I don't think we will. Mysterio seems to be more of an interesting character in this than he ever was in the comics, at the very least. In the comics, he was a special effects artist, something like that. But maybe he was that in Spider-Man's MCU, but in Mysterio's own dimension, Mysterio actually has powers. And that could be a good explanation for it. Kevin Feige said a month ago or so that despite getting the X-Men rights from Fox, they aren't going to be introduced in the MCU for some time. But this multiverse thing is clearly a setup. The perfect way to introduce any host of superheroes. Of course, why they would leave their own planet is questionable. I guess future movies with Fantastic Four would take place in their own universe, but also in the MCU. Something strange like that. Unless both worlds collide, and it's just more chaos. But the multiverse is an idea I'm really excited about. There's a lot they can do with it. As long as it's not a parallel universe, because if that was the case, the parallel universe would likely have their own version of Thanos, and they're not going to be exploring another Thanos plotline, so it's unlikely it's going to be a parallel one. Just a different version of Earth. So you probably won't be seeing Peter Parker run into himself, or like the Spider-Verse Sony movie where you get multiple versions of everyone kind of thing, and some of them are dead in certain universes. But this trailer, man, it got me way more excited than I actually was. After Endgame, I was kind of done with the MCU, but I might just come back to watch this movie, and we'll see where it goes from there. But whatever you think of this, if you have any ideas or theories, comment below. Make sure you drop a like as well, and subscribe for more videos just like this, and thanks for watching.